your name. Let me know where you're joining us from so I know whether or not you're here and you're following me before we begin. Your name. Sorry, please, am I being heard? I just want to confirm if I'm being heard. Oh, okay, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Divine Favor from Ogun State. Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, Priscilla from Lagos. Nice to meet you. All right. Okay, please keep it coming. Okay. Ariola Anuolua joining from Ogun State. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, okay, wonderful. So, without wasting any time, I would like to call on our first panelist in the person of Sharon Inwebuka. And Sharon is a dynamic project manager and youth development leader with over 5 years of experience managing projects, coordinating large-scale programs, and driving high-performance teams to success. As head of administration at Teens Voice, Sharon has successfully led the planning and execution of various youth-focused programs, from small-scale projects to large-scale programs, recording thousands in attendance. She has a proven track record of birthing innovative solutions, streamlining operations, and fostering collaboration across diverse teams to achieve impact. Beyond her organizational leadership, Sharon is a budding UI designer, blending her skills in strategy, communication, and design to create solutions that resonate with young people and stakeholders alike. Passionate about empowerment and innovation, Sharon continues to champion initiatives that inspire the next generation of leaders while delivering excellence in every project she undertakes. So please join me with a round of applause. Please flood the comments. Join me celebrate Sharon as she talks to us about healthy relationships, boundaries, conflict resolution, and networking. Please let's celebrate Sharon, Miss Sharon, as she talks to us now.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much, Victoria, for that very, very warm welcome. Good evening to everyone. Very especially, I'd like to thank esteemed Pure for the opportunity to be on this platform, to be here and to speak and share with all of us today. I am also a product of the Not Too Young for Wealth program, and definitely it has been an impactful journey. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity and the privilege to be here today with testimonies of things that have happened with me as a result of the program, and also being able to not just have those learning points, but also being able to share them. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Sister Sharon. So please just share with us a little bit on the topic, healthy relationships, boundaries, conflict resolution, and networking. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so for my topic, healthy relationships, boundaries, conflict resolution, and networking. First of all, one of the things that we need to understand is that relationships are an important part of life. You have your family relationships, casual relationships, your friendships, work relationships, different types of relationships, and all of these relationships are important in your life, and it's important that you consciously maintain the health of your various relationships and also understand the place of the different relationships you have in your life, your family, your friends, your work. How do you prioritize these relationships? What is the health of these relationships? What does your relationship with people look like? Because it's very important. Some people like to say, oh, no, I'm alone, nobody cares, I don't really need anybody to like me and all of that. But if you're going to be a founder, and you're going to be someone that builds something that lasts, you have to, one of the ways we categorize, one of the things that show you have wealth is people. So what does your network of people look like? Who are the people you know? Who are the people that can vouch for you? Who are the people that you can talk to? So relationships and how you maintain them contributes to a very make a very large contribution to your founding journey. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Sharon. From what you said, what is one thing that one can do to maintain a strong, healthy relationship in adulthood?
Okay. So maintaining strong, healthy relationships in adulthood, I would think that one of the things you're referring to is friendships, right? So strong friendships in adulthood. One of the things you realize as you grow into adulthood is that relationships and friendships are no longer a matter of convenience. You move from secondary school where you have maybe all your friends are in your class, you have your set mates. You move from university where you meet people every single day, you share the same lecture halls, share the same hostels, to leaving those spaces where it's compulsory to connect, it's compulsory to interact, to an outside world where, oh, your time schedules are different, your work schedules are different. How do you maintain the relationships? One of the things that is very important is the amount of effort you put into it. Your friendships and your relationships have to leave a place of convenience. Oh, I've seen you today, so hi. It has to be something that you consciously put effort into. And one of the things I listed down is systems and planning. So someone will hear systems and planning and be like, is it that deep? Yes, it's actually that deep, because your friends who you have around you, Pure shared with us yesterday that we can determine your future when we see your friends of today. So the people you have around you, it's important to build that strong network of people and that strong network of friends. So one of the first things is effort. Put in a whole lot of effort into it. Make the necessary calls, do the necessary check-ins. Don't just be like, oh, I forgot, or I don't care, or that's who I am. Nowadays people like to branch their bad character, cover bad character with that's who I am. That's not who you are. You can work on it, you can improve, you can do better. And if it's be the kind of friend you want to have. So don't just say, oh, my friend didn't check up on me. That is one thing. If, oh my goodness, if you come to me with, you didn't check up on me, we both have phones. We both can chat each other. We can both call each other. So don't just be the, oh, they didn't check up on me. They didn't talk to me. They didn't this, they didn't that. Be that friend you want to have. Go the extra mile for people. Make calls. And then aside your friendships, maintaining strong relationships with, let's say, in the workplace, it's important that you be a person of value and be someone that always brings solutions. Be irreplaceable wherever you find yourself in. Produce such excellent work that they can't but have you around. Like you need to be present for it to. You need to be present. The solutions you bring on board, the attitude you bring on board, the innovation you bring on board, the things you bring on board to whatever you're doing is something that people cannot but can must have. So once you're a person of value, it's easier to build a strong network of people. It's easier to build stronger relationships. Thank you.
Okay, so knowing that it is kind of difficult, and then you have to put in a lot of effort to maintain these friendships and maintain these healthy relationships. In a situation whereby things don't go as they're supposed to, how do we approach resolving conflicts in relationships and in friendships?
Okay, conflict resolution. I think sometimes when people hear conflict, they think war, problem, fight. Conflict is basically disagreement and tensions that arise because every person has their own individual personality, their own character, their own attitude, their own belief systems. And so when you put a group of people together in a team or as friends, there will be varying beliefs, varying thought processes, and all of that. So it's important that you understand the next person is not you. So they're not going to think the way you think or process the way you process. So their attitude towards a particular issue or a particular matter might be different from yours, and it is not a bad thing. I was having a conversation with one of my friends. I think it was kind of a conflict situation, and I was saying, you think this way and I think this way. It That you think this way doesn't mean I'm wrong, and that I think this way doesn't mean you are wrong. We just have different beliefs, and we have different ways, different perspectives from which we're seeing the situation. So the next thing is, how do we move forward from it? And one of the things I would usually say is be objective when it comes to conflict resolution. Be objective. Sometimes people tend to be emotional, so I'll define what being objective is. To be objective, it means to not approach things from a standpoint of emotion, removing emotion, personal feelings, and personal opinions when analyzing a fact or a situation. So when I, for instance, approach conflicts, maybe my friends, and we have a disagreement, I sit to myself and I think, first of all, why am I upset? Why does this thing bother me? Do I actually have valid reason to be upset? Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel bad. Oh, what he did wasn't that nice. But sometimes when you actually take a step back and analyze the situation, not just war, when you analyze the situation, you might find areas where you might have missed it or you were misunderstood, and it's fine. So first of all, be objective. Approach the situation from an objective point of view, not from an overly emotional point of view. So that's first. The second one is be willing to listen. Don't come in trying to defend yourself. It's not trying to prove a point. We're not in a court of law, especially when it's your friends, or even with in a workplace. It's not a court of law. You can properly express yourself and express your thoughts and your point of view without sounding rude, without fighting, without being condescending. You can do that. So that is that's one of the things being objective does for you. It helps you see what is going on, and it helps you write down your different points. Maybe not literally write them down, but you can rationalize what is going on. You can think it through, and you can explain it. You can explain yourself. That's another thing. So be willing to listen. Then number three is don't be quick to cut off. Sometimes people enter here and they're like, oh, I'm cutting off all my fake friends, cutting off scissors. That's what I jokingly call them, scissors, because it's not necessary. Don't be quick to cut off. Address the problem, not the person. Address the problem, not the person. So sometimes there's a situation, and all of a sudden, because of this singular situation, this person automatically is a bad person. No. Separate the person from the situation, address the situation, and then move forward with the person if it's something that can happen, especially if the person is someone of good character and someone that you've been maybe friends for a while, you've been together for a while. Don't just, oh no, because of this one singular argument or this one differing point of view, we can't be together anymore. Even in your work relationships, conflict resolution is very important, because maybe if it's in a senior junior kind of relationship and you want to explain yourself, you want to express your points. That's why I talked about being objective And knowing what you want to say, are you just upset, or did you miss it along the way, or were you misunderstood? If you were misunderstood, how do you represent yourself better and explain yourself better? The entire point of communication is for the other person to understand you. So if you're not understood, communication has not taken place. So you have to, when you're explaining yourself, sharing your standpoints and all of that, ensure that the objective of communication is met. The other person understands you. Not just that you've said what you wanted to say, but that you are understood, especially in a working environment where someone else's decision can affect someone else's career or affect their work and all of that. Hope I've answered the question.
Yes, thank you so much, Sharon. One last question I have to ask. Now, in a situation whereby, let's say, I don't have friends, I don't have these connections, or I have not even established any of these proper friendships and relationships, and I want to move into the business sector, or I want to start something up or start a business or something, how can I start networking if I don't already have these established connections?
Okay. The first thing about connections and networking is starting early and starting now, because your friends of today will be your connections of tomorrow. Sometimes you hear people say, oh, my dad's friend got me this opportunity, or my mom's friend or my mom's cousin or someone. Those are relationships that their parents have established. They were probably secondary school classmates or maybe course mates, and now they've grown up and they are still friends. That's why maintaining the health of your relationships, like I said earlier, is very important. So yes, starting now and starting early. Don't look down on your friends. Don't look down on the people. That's why you must have people of character and people of value in your world and in your circle, so you can grow together and build together. Your people of purpose, people of passion, people with vision, so you can accomplish things. Start now. Make quality friends now. Make friends that that can impact your future positively today. So start from the networking horizontally. Then be of good character. When it comes to networking, let people when you're not there, what do people say about you? How can people describe you? If your name comes up in a room, what will people say? How would they discuss your matter in that scenario? And something I would say is, think of life as an unending show. Someone is always watching, and you never know when a person's opinion or thoughts of you will matter. You never know when or where it might matter. So be of good character and be likable. Be of good character and be likable. Sometimes people say, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm just going to do me and be me. You can have two things. You can either power through and fight your way through life, or fight your way through doors, or you can have the doors open for you with a glass of tea waiting for you at the other side of the door. And I would rather have that kind of life. That's where the grace and favor factor comes in. But you also have some character development to do along the way. And also, referring to starting now, is what kind of a person are you now? I was talking to one of my friends, and he works in a company. He's the head. He heads a team of other designers and tech developers and all of that. And he was talking about one of his friends who was trying to get him to help him get an internship in the company, because he holds a bit of a high position in the company. So he was asking, oh, can you help me get an internship in this company and everything? He was like, He said, this same person I sat with in university, the way you were doing, cheating through all the exams, disturbing everybody, you were a playboy, everything, I should now refer you in the company. They'll say it's me that brought you. No, I can't. That's why I said somebody is always watching. So don't be so carefree with yourself or with how you carry yourself. Package yourself properly, irrespective of where you find yourself, whether you're in school, whether you're in church, whether you are at play, wherever you are. Let people look at you and say, this is a person of excellence. This is a person we can vouch for, irrespective of where you find yourself in. So Now, that was his university classmates. Probably when he was misbehaving in university, he didn't think much of it. But now he needs a job and you can't be vouched for because he might have changed after he left university, but that's what they already know you for. So your first impression matters and your subsequent impressions also matter. So it's not just making a good first impression, but what do people, what can people say about you consistently across board? When your name comes up here, we can vouch for you. When your name comes up here, we can vouch for you. It's very important. And then also networking horizontally. So you want to maybe a mentor or someone like that. It's important to be a person of value. As I said before, don't just be a fan. Oh, I love your work so much, I want you to teach me, I like you. No, be a person of value. Be someone that they can look at and say, oh, this is someone that will produce results. This is someone we can pay attention to. Have a track record and leave a footprint. And finally, don't be quiet. Speak up. Advertise yourself. No one is going to know what you do or who you are if you don't say it, because it's not floating somewhere. You have to say who you are. And so engage intelligently, engage consciously. Maybe there is someone you've been wanting to talk to. I heard there was a creator on social media. I've heard different creators say it, influencers, if you may say. They will talk about how they go through the comment sections, and so they see what people are saying in their comment sections. And the particular person I'm referring to, he was talking about someone he eventually met. This is someone that he has seen consistently comment on his posts, ask reasonable questions, give reasonable feedback on his posts, and now he can vouch for this person. He can interact with this person when they see face to face. So be a person of value and speak up for yourself, engage intelligently.
Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Sharon. Please let us appreciate Miss Sharon in the comments. Thank you so much. I have learned a lot. As you were talking, I was writing a lot of things. And as we're thanking Miss Sharon, let's also put down in the comments what are some things that she said that struck you, or were some striking thoughts that she shared. Let us know. So I'll know if you're following and if you're here with us before I introduce the next speaker. But thank you once again so much, Sister Sharon. Ms. Sharon, for sharing with us, for enlightening us, for inspiring us with your stories and your wonderful words. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Once again, I would like to thank the convener of this wonderful event program, Pastor Well. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity to be here. Thank you, Victoria, for a wonderful time. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye.
Thank you so much. Please put down in the chat box what were some things that you picked from what she said. I picked a lot of things. I picked to be a person of value, to be of good character, because at the end of the day, it really matters what people, the type of opinions that people have. It matters how you present yourself out there, because you never know if when someone's opinion about you could be an open door for you tomorrow, or could lead to an opportunity, a business opportunity for you the next day. So please put down in the chat box some of the things you got. And before I welcome our next panelist, do well to share the link with other people. Let other people join, because trust me, you are in for a good time. And there is a lot we have to learn. We haven't even heard from our keynote speaker yet, that I'm very excited for. So please share the link across if you're on different platforms with other young people or other people that you feel would benefit. I believe everybody will benefit from such a program. So please share the link across your different platforms on your status. Share, let other people know, and other people participate. Now, kindly join me to welcome our very next panelist. Please let us hear some applause, virtual confettis and everything, as I welcome our very next panelist in the person of Mr. Jonathan Achibong. Jonathan is a graduate architect from Caleb University. He earned his BSc in architecture in 2024, where his research explored the use of building information modeling in preserving heritage buildings. Jonathan currently works with Play in Architecture, where he focuses on 3D visualization, schematic design, and working drawings. He also holds multiple certifications in digital skills and entrepreneurship, and has chaired and hosted several seminars and projects within his church community. His professional and research interests include heritage preservation, educational facility design, and the integration of digital tools in architecture. So please join me to welcome Mr. Jonathan Achibong as he shares with us on mental health in adulthood, stress management, resilience, and self-care. Trust me, no other person is well suited to talk about stress management than an Aki student. So please join me to welcome Mr. Jonathan Achibong.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for the kind words. Am I being heard?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, firstly, I'd like to give my appreciations to the esteemed Pastor Wealth for the opportunity to share on this platform. I, like Sister Sharon, come on, let me mute this. So I was saying, I like Sister Sharon, I like Miss Sharon. I'm also a beneficiary of the Not Too Young for Wealth. In fact, I dare say that I've been in every Not Too Young for Wealth session. This is the fourth edition, and I think I've been in every Not Too Young for Wealth session, and it's glad that I am a speaker this time around. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity. And thank you so much, sir, for the investment that you've made in each and every one of us. So I'm going to be speaking on.
Interrupt you, Mr. Jonathan, but your slide is flipped. So if you can please correct that so we can see what you're trying to present. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I just noticed that. Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm speaking on mental health in adulthood, stress management, resilience, and self-care. And like Victoria said, if not for anything, I think because of the fact that um, I'm a lucky student, I'm one of the best people to speak about this. And as I was thinking, ruminating about the topic, I was looking through my past experiences, and this is where I compiled my points from. So let's get or dive straight into it. I wanted to define the keywords as an introduction because it's important that we know what we're talking about. You don't want to um, give room to speculations. Some people might define mental health as something that is not. You hear various definitions of the terms, but then mental health, according to the WHO, is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stress of life, realize their abilities, learn, work, and work well, and contribute to their community. Adulthood, the state or period of being fully grown, fully developed, or of age. It is marked by independence, multiple responsibilities, and demands like work, family, and financial responsibilities. Stress management refers to techniques used to reduce or completely rid the effects of stress on to your mind and body. Resilience, capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. Self-care, intentional actions to maintain physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. I'm rushing this because of the short time that I have, but then it's important to note that when you go through life, stress is a reaction that comes from work being done, and it is necessarily a part of life. But what matters is what you do when you are stressed, what you do under pressure. It is definite that you would have stress at some point in your life, but then what matters, what is the most important thing is what you do in the state of stress. So I'm going to be talking about stress management. I define stress as a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. Maybe it's by challenges or could be even be a threat. And there are particularly two types of stress. They are the acute stress, that is temporary reaction to an immediate challenge, demand, or pressure. For this kind of stress, they are short term. So maybe you have an immediate reaction to something. For example, if you were asked to give a presentation, your stress could be an immediate reaction. It could be fight or flight. When you're stuck in traffic and you're late for an appointment, for example, you could be stressed. You don't have the capacity to maybe change the situation or fix the situation, but then your body immediately responds to the environment or condition that you are in. You could feel stress, acute stress again, during an argument. But then this kind of stress, like I mentioned, is just for a short period. It fades away after that season or that time session is over. Then there's a second type of stress, and it is chronic stress. This kind of stress lasts for weeks, for months, and even years. They are often linked with unresolved issues. For example, constant financial struggles. And this is particularly directed to, or it's particularly directed to us, like as a country. The economy of Nigeria is not particularly one. So young people are stressed about their finances. They're stressed about the future. What is their hope for the future? What are they looking forward to? What is in their future? What can they see? Um, this kind of stress is called chronic stress. Long-term caregiving of a sick relative. For example, if you have a sick loved one, you could be stressed all day and all night, and this could go on for a protracted period of time. Another example of chronic stress is staying in a toxic environment or an unhealthy relationship. Could be from your friend, could be from maybe family, from your coworkers at work, or from even school. When the environment is toxic, it leads to chronic stress. When remember that I said at the beginning that stress is inevitable. You would always, it is a part of the life cycle, if I'm permitted to say. But then what you do when you are stressed is what really counts. You might not be able to determine the circumstances that you are in or that you're put into, but then what you do with those circumstances is what really matters. And one of the ways you can deal with stress, or that you deal with stress, is resilience. What is resilience? Resilience really simply means the ability to bounce back. It means when you are hit, you are able to hit harder at the stress and come back to your feet, stand up to your feet and move on. It is the ability to adapt and recover from setbacks. Key traits are optimism, adaptability, problem solving. And in my research, I discovered that science shows that optimism improves emotional health, social support buffers stress, gratitude rewires the brain positively, growth mindset turns failure into learning. So resilience, more like, is a state of the mind. It's how do you process things? how do you act? How do you react? Because you are the object of an action. You know, when you're constructing a sentence, you have the subject, the verb, and the object. You are the stress is the subject, no? Or the situation is the subject, stress is the verb, and you are the object. What do you do when stress hits you? What do you do when situations come your way that are not so pleasant? What do you do at those points? At that point, rather, one of the first tips is resilience. And like I mentioned, it is basically bouncing back. When you are hit, how do you respond? Do you stand up to your feet? Do you move on? Or do you suck your thumb, sit down crying for help that is not coming from anywhere? How do you build resilience rather? First, you strengthen your faith and your hope. Um, if there is one thing as humans that I think it is I call it one of God's best coping mechanism is hope. Hope for the future, hope for better things. One of the reasons why you can go through anything and keep going through it is because of hope. You are hopeful about the future. For example, if you're going to if you go to school, for example, say, okay, I studied architecture. Um, Not everybody who studied architecture ends up becoming an architect. Not everybody who becomes an architect becomes a successful architect. But then hope helps you tie your your faith down. Hope helps you press forward. Hope helps you move to action. So I I hope that, or I'm hoping that through this education, through the system that I'm passing, that I'm going to eventually turn out to be what I want to be. So that is hope. Without hope, um, you are going to be stressed out practically. You wouldn't have any faith for the future. You wouldn't have any ambition. And another factor to building resilience is reframe challenges positively. Um, Pastor Chris would always say that challenges are bred for us. That is a way to reframe the challenge. You do not see it as a problem. It might be a problem, but you do not just see it as an unsolvable problem. You see it as something that you walk through. You see it as something that you have to go through. You see it as something that you spring off from. Another step to building resilience is to build supportive relationships. Man is a social animal. Man was not created. You hear the popular phrase, no man is an island. And it's true to some extent. We have each other because when one is down, for example, I'll give the illustration of when a lion wants to take its prey. When a lion is hunting for prey, let's say an antelope, for example, it always likes to seclude the pride of lions likes to seclude one antelope or looks for um, one cattle that is separated from the herd and then attacks that one. It's the same thing with stress. When you are facing stress or when you're facing time of difficulty, if you're alone in it, the difficulty or stress would eat you up. So, and as such, you need positive friends, you need inspiring friends, people you can always pick up, you can always talk to, speak to help you, guide you, or to even help you see it through. You know, sometimes you might not even need advice, you just need the company of that person. You just need to know that someone has got your back. Another step to building resilience is practice gratitude daily. Always be thankful. When you see things from a positive lens. You are hopeful. You are building resilience. You do not you don't always see things from the backside. You are seeing things from a positive light. Taking care of your body and mind, develop problem-solving skills, maintain a long-term perspective. I've got to run now. Self-care. What is self-care? Why does self-care matter? Self-care prevents burnout, improve physical and mental health, boost productivity and focus. Examples of self-care, and this one I like a lot. In fact, I think this is my coping mechanism, sleep and rest. Personally, for me, when something is getting too, when it's getting, when it's getting too, when the pressure is high, if there's one thing I know how to do is to pray. And after I pray, or I look for the closest pillow and I just sleep. And I tell you why I do so. In the moment when you are faced with a particular challenge, you might not be thinking straight. You might not, your perspective about things or your perspective on things might feel blurry, you wouldn't see it at that point, but then you think that whatever action you're going to make at that point in time would be the best action. But if you would only calm down, put some thought into it, if you would only sleep or rest, and then when you wake up, you realize that your mindset, like it's your mind is refreshed. You can see things the way they are without any subjectivity of emotion or anything. You can see things objectively, like Miss Sharon said. Another example of self-care is healthy diet, exercise, relaxation practices, social connection, seeking help when needed. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up. When you're going through anything, when you're going through tough times, don't be afraid to speak up. There are people who should be ready to help. If you have a circle of friends that you think that nobody would help, then you need to change those circle of friends. And maybe they are even the reason for your stress. Maybe could be the reason for your stress. So you need to always remember that no man is an island. No man is an island. When you are going through stuff, learn to speak up. You might, again, you might not necessarily need advice at that point. You might not necessarily need counsel. All you just need to have is to know that you have the backing of other people. You know that if come rain or come shine, there are people at your back who are helping you or propelling you forward, cheering you on. I'm very tempted to say hallelujah. So takeaways: stress is part of life, but it can be managed. Resilience helps us bounce back stronger. Self-care is not luxury, it is vital. Thank you. So thank you for listening to me. I've come to the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan. You've shared a lot with us today. You've answered all the questions that I had concerning or relating to the topic prior. Please let's appreciate Mr. Jonathan in the chat box. Let's thank him. Let's appreciate him because he has definitely shared a lot of tips, because each and every one of us can share different stories of different times we've encountered stress and different things that have stressed us. And one of the things I got from what he said is seeking help when needed. Linking it to what Ms. Sharon shared with us earlier, is very important to build healthy relationships and to build healthy connections and friendships, because if you don't have, no man is an island, like Mr. Jonathan said. If you don't have the right people around you, then who would you run to in situations where you need help? So it's very important to have the right people around you. So you have people to run to when you need help, or you have people to support you. Have a wonderful support system backing you. So thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan. Please share in the chat box some of the things you got from the session, some of the things he said that really touched you and really inspired you. Share with us. Let's know that you are following before I welcome our wonderful keynote speaker. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Jonathan, for all that you have shared with us. We really appreciate and we're really grateful. Thank you. Please put it in the chat box, some of the things you learned, some of the things you got from his inspiring session. I genuinely have a lot to say from what he said, because this is a very interesting topic that he just spoke to us. Yes, SOSS says self-care is not luxury, it is vital. In fact, it is very, very vital. It is a necessity, even. It is a necessity. Self-care is not luxury. Once again, I'd like to also remind and urge to please share the link. It could be the YouTube link. Share the link. Tell people about this, because you don't want anybody missing out on this. Don't be selfish. We are talking about being a good person, being a person of good character. So Ms. Sharon shared being be that good friend today, and share the link. Tell people about this so people can join in and learn as well, because I'm learning a lot. So without further ado, please join me as I welcome our wonderful keynote speaker. The virtual applause, the virtual confetti, everything. This is the time. Please join me as I welcome our keynote speaker in the person of Mr. David Kioya. He is an entrepreneur with a background in marketing and hands-on experience in diverse business ventures, and has been the managing director of Edio Group for 5 years and counting. Please join me to welcome Mr. David Ikioya. Join me. Welcome, Mr. David Ikioya, as he'll be sharing with us on scaling versus sustaining, when to grow and when to consolidate. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. I think you're one of the most amazing hosts I've ever seen. I was in the meeting yesterday. First of all, I want to thank the founder of this Not Too Young for Wealth, Not Too Young for Wealth. I want to thank the founder of this whole initiative. It's really an awesome. I believe everyone can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It's really a good initiative to be thought about. Like, I've always thought of having something like this that have to do like after school, what next? That's what has come to mind. After school, what next? And also, this is a really good initiative. So thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity to be part of the keynote speaker for this Not Too Young for Wealth. No. Thank you, Victoria. Really, I love the way you host, like, and the follow-up was really, really serious. I believe everyone can see the screen as well. Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes, sir.
Sure, can see it. Okay. Hope it's bold enough and all. Okay, that's my notes for today. But today I'm just going to be sharing to you guys a story, just a story. I might not really go reading all of these, but I know I'll just at different interval, I would go back to the notes and go back to the story I'm sharing. So the topic says scaling versus sustaining. When you talk about scaling, what comes to your mind? First thing, I want to scale something. Like maybe somebody will say, I'm scaling fish. I want to scale the size of how much a kilo of fish is and all of that. Maybe that's not somebody who's there, but when we talk about scaling, what comes to my mind, the first thing is growth. See, growth is what comes to my mind. And the topic says scaling versus sustaining. And it says when to grow and when to consolidate. So I'll start by the definition of what scaling means. Then I'll just share a beautiful story of myself and how I started. I believe that's going to show more impact on, on this topic. I know I have just limited time, but I would do something with that time. What's scaling? What does scaling mean? To scale a business is to increase your overall revenue while controlling how much you spend to generate that revenue. In summary, it means to increase efficiency while controlling cost. It simply means increasing your efficiency, but you must control the cost. So you don't just grow a business and the next thing, as money is coming in, you just start spending it. Okay, I need to buy. Maybe, for example, you are looking at, okay, what next do I need? I need to employ a staff. I need to employ, calm down. The money is just coming in. The money is just coming in. So you don't have to start rushing to say, okay, I need to get a car. If car isn't the kind of business, for example, there are different businesses. Maybe car is the most important thing you need for you to do, maybe carry out the logistics of that business. I know you can as well get a car. I know at least that's to run the cost. Still the cost is still controlling the cost of the business instead of paying for Uber to deliver all of those things at all. So it just means increasing your efficiency. Don't get 5 marketing team. Maybe you say, I want to employ 5 people to do marketing. And you are just starting a business. You're about to crash your business, sorry to say. So you don't just start that way. So I said I was going to tell you a story before I continue to the next slide. So I started my life 9 to 5. And I was, since the victory yesterday, I was listening to what you were saying yesterday. And I really enjoyed it. I started to sneak into the meeting to see how she was going to present. It was really nice. You see, I was in 9 to 5 when I finished university and I served. Then, I went to a particular company. I was posted to a particular firm and I was working in 9 to 5. And I know when the first time I entered the company was, okay, you're a marketing student, you graduated the BSc, that. I know, and next thing was, okay, you cannot work in this particular place or work in this place, be assisting the inventory manager. And I know one of the things I was is there. I look at every step taken to achieve that particular thing. So I was with the man and I was learning with time. My connection is unstable. Hope you can still hear me, Don.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and I was there from inventory, looking at the man as the manager. And the next thing, my MD wake up one morning and say, David, you are very good at the job. Why not take the inventory managing position? And I moved from being assistant. So that's how to scale. That's why I told you I was going to be talking about some stories. I know from being an assistant by learning, just learning and looking at the job, getting it done. And I was moved to being a inventory manager. Now, it didn't stop there. I started again. I was very good at it. Reports, always submitting reports, always getting document done. And like that, MD looks again and said, David, okay, I think you should come and be the channel manager for accessories. And from there, I scaled up again. So I grew. You see, that's how to grow your business. I'm just giving you this background because I'm going somewhere. So like that, the efficiency was increased. Many work, I was doing a lot of things and, still having to monitor the person doing the inventory part. Then still having to be the channel manager, keeping record of over, I think I was keeping record of over 120 stores. That's something you could divide and say, no, only David can be managing the 20 stores. Let's divide it, give it. But you see, that was where I learned a lot of things. And that's why I said I was going to tell you a story, because seeing me today doing these multiple businesses that I have, I know I didn't mention it on the bio because I don't want people to know too much about it. And also, like, seeing me doing all of those things was where I learned how to be increase efficiency, but still control the cost of the organization. Because if you are increasing efficiency by increasing your staff rate or by increasing your expenses in the company, today you are saying, oh, because I'm the owner of the company, I want to buy the latest iPhone. You really don't need that particular latest iPhone. It'll get to a certain point in your business where you would want to get that particular iPhone it's not going to be anything. It's not going to even affect the business. I know. But you really want to lower the cost of what you are spending on, because you can't be spending so much on things that are not advancing or increasing the efficiency of your business. Now, why do I say that? That takes me to when should I scale? That leads me to the next question. Where should I scale? You scale up only when your business is ready. That is when you have a healthy cash flow. So why did I go to this next slide? You don't scale up, you don't just grow and say, oh, I've grown, I can start spending money anyhow. No, there must be a healthy cash flow. You must take note of that. There must be a healthy cash flow. If there's no unhealthy cash flow, you don't just take out money anyhow from the organization. Otherwise, you are ready to make that business crash in any time soon. I know. And looking at me for past 5 years, when I left my 9 to 5, I still go back to my MD. Let me not lie to you. So don't think I left like how do I put it? The prodigal son. No, I'm not the prodigal son. I am still welcome anytime to him, because he's also my mentor. He's also my business coach as well. So he's someone who has done business for the. You don't expect me to leave someone like that and think, oh, yeah, I've started, I've grown. So one of the things you should also recognize is that you must recognize the place of a mentorship. You cannot just start your business and say, yes, I know about the business. Sometimes we learn certain things in certain places. For example, if as young as you are, maybe you decide, oh, I want to learn tailoring. For example, let me put that as an example. Tailoring. You don't just learn, and when you learn finish, you start your own. Then you say, oh, I can't go and meet that my boss again. No. That person where you learn from is still the person that can guide you to the next level where you're supposed to be. Yeah, the Holy Spirit is there to give you ideas. Many times the Holy Spirit gives me ideas on what to do. It tells me what to do. Because, see, let me tell you the truth. There's no place that you want to be in this life without the help of the Holy Spirit. Many times the businesses that start is not because I saw somebody doing it, or I saw this person doing it, I saw A doing it. A lot of doing this business, maybe you saw the person is making money from it, the next thing you jump into it. No, that's not the way to run business. And you don't just do different businesses because you see that this person is doing it, it's working, you want to go and do it. You, at the end of the day, you start the business, and with no time, the business is already going down, and everybody's wondering what happened to your business that you were doing before. Do you understand? So you go back to those people who you learned from. You take guidance from them. Sometimes you meet them, you let them mentor you on what to do. So I said I still go back to my MD, because sometimes in this business thing that we're talking about, and you're not yet.
Okay, I think he may be having some connection issues, but he would definitely be joining us shortly. So while we're on this little break, remember to please share the link with
So
other
sorry.
people.
So sorry about that. My connection, I've changed to what I was sharing. Sorry, I want to bring back the document I was sharing on. So sorry about that. Okay. Am I back on? Can you see the documents? Or can you hear me? Okay. So I was saying, so you go back to that person where you learn from and let him mentor you, let him be your business coach. Don't just run and say, oh, I started my business. I'm not like I was telling somebody, I said, Don't start business and start naming yourself as the CEO. Brother, you're just starting. Or sister, you're just starting. Don't say, I'm the CEO of this and Y and Z. Before you become a CEO, you need structures. There are certain structures you must have in place. You don't just call yourself, I'm a CEO, I'm that. That's why you could see on my this thing, I just put MD. I'm still managing and I'm still directing for now. So number 2 point is that you must reiterate, scale up only when you are ready. I'm reiterating what I just said. Scale up only when you are ready. Don't create unnecessary risk in your business. It's progress just because profits are up 1 quarter. You have trustworthy team. So don't just grow your business and say, oh, I've grown now. I'm now a grown person in business. So I just want to start my business. I want to do some certain things. I want to put money in this place. I want to put money in that place. No, because you have to avoid unnecessary risk. There are many risks in businesses, and everybody knows there's always risk in business, but you can avoid that, not because you make certain amount. Some young people, when they make money, maybe the first business transaction they carried out, maybe they made like 5 million naira. Oh, I have 5 million. I made 5 million. The next thing, person is thinking of buying maybe the latest iPhone, thinking of buying maybe the latest unnecessary things. So don't say because you made money in the first quarter, you start finishing the money, using the money anyhow. No, don't forget that you're running a business and there are risks in place. And when I go down to the other part of this thing, you understand why I said you don't just spend your money anyhow, because they are all for all circumstance sources that can come up. Different distinct climate, maybe dollar changes, rates, all of those things. It can affect your business if you don't manage the risk of your business. The third point, you have to earn the right to scale. You have to earn the right to scale. For you to scale, you have to earn the right. You must earn the right. If you try to scale before you and more revenue means more problem if you don't have the right system to support it. Do you understand that? So you must have a good foundation. There must be a good foundation in place. Don't just grow and there's no good foundation in place. That's why you see some businesses, they just start all of a sudden in the next 6 months, the business is nowhere to be found. And people are wondering, but you just started this business. What happened to your business? There was no, because why? First, the second point says, you've done some unnecessary risks. You've taken some unnecessary, maybe you've taken the money to go and invest. Maybe there's one investment and you decide, that investment will boom my business more. Let me go and invest into it. No, that's not the way. That's not the way to grow your business. So you have a solid foundation. You must set things right, the right system to support it. Like for me, when I started, I didn't have a website. I didn't have all of those things, but I had to create a website for my businesses. I had to put different staffing in different places. For example, I have a laundry business. I have a phone business, a gadget business store, and all of that. I have people in shop that sells for me. And I have people that I monitor back to back and all of those things are done. So I have to make sure that there are certain things in place. Sometimes I don't have to be the one to go and pick up clothes. I just need to call my guys. There's a person in shop that is dropping a clothes. This person's name is this, pick up the clothes from the person. So those are the things you have to put structure in place so that you don't have to, come back to point zero where you started from again. And it's important to know that you can achieve a few initial goals and set out to attain an impossible one. Risk is inherent in businesses, and there is no such thing as there's no sure thing. There's no sure thing, but maximizing risk should be a priority before growing. Do you understand? Maximizing risk should be a priority before going. The reason why I highlighted this short thing, there's no short thing in business. Don't say, no problem, I have this amount of money and something can come up. Just recently, news was spreading around about by 2026, there's going to be a lot of tax bills on a certain amount of money you have in your account, all of those things. So right now, you have to start preparing for that against next year. You have to start preparing yourself against next year, because you don't want to be among those people that are going to maybe fall victim of the the crisis that arises by next year. You have to prepare for it. And that's why there's no short thing in business. There's no, oh, I have this amount of money, yeah, I'm secured. No. Something can take off that money. One of this, the company can, for example, if a company crashed today, maybe there's a fire outbreak or something, that's another cost. So you can't say, oh, because I have this certain amount of money, I've made this amount of money. Then next thing you start buying different things, spending the money the way you like because you've made a lot, maybe a little profit in a particular first quarter. So you must understand these things that there's no, I'm going to use myself as an example. There was a year when a fire outbreak happened in my house and everywhere got burnt. But thank God there was a certain money aside that was aside already for the business. And there was certain money for me as well. I was able to overcome all of those challenges. So you must understand that you must set certain amount of money aside. There's no short thing in business. Anything can happen. Tomorrow, the government can come. Especially this Lagos State, that I'm from Nigeria, actually, Lagos State precisely. Lagos State can wake up one morning and tell you, this building is on the government road. And by that time, you don't have any option. You don't have any other option than to move from that place where you are. So there's no short thing. So don't finish your money, maximize your risk. It's very important to maximize your risk. So the next thing is, what is sustainability in business? In business, sustainability means building and running an organization in a way that ensures a long-term success without compromising future stability. It is about balancing profitable, making money, people, social responsibility, and the planet, environmental care, often called the triple bottom line. Number one, economic sustainability. Economic sustainability. Maintaining financial health and consistent growth and resilience in surviving changing markets. I said it earlier. I said tomorrow, we all know the way Nigeria, tomorrow dollar increases and dollar comes down. Tomorrow they might say, oh, dollar has dropped to 1,000 naira. It affects, you must understand the economic sustainability in business. Because if you don't understand these things, you might think you have a lot of money in your business or you think you have a lot of products. Sometimes you go to China and buy stuffs, maybe your product, for example, I'm using myself as an example. If I go to China to buy in gadgets and all of those things, bring it in accessories and all of those things, the price that I bought it in January might not be the price I'm buying it in December. So you must understand all of these things in business. Otherwise, you might not be able to sustain your business. You might not be able to sustain your business. And that's why you see an Igbo man. An Igbo man will buy something, maybe 100 naira in China and bring it into Nigeria and sell it for 1 million naira. I'm just using that as an example. Don't say that that's what they do. So I was trying to understand. Don't say that that's what they do. But that's exactly what they actually do in sense. And why did they do that? Because they know that tomorrow, that price that they bought that thing for. Because what I'm saying is, someone went to China recently and the person was just screaming. We were talking and the person went to China and we were just screaming like, you people in Nigeria, you are so wicked. These things are cheap. But they don't understand that tomorrow, the government can come up with custom something. Custom is increasing tariff. Custom is reducing tariff. So all of those things affect business sustainability. So you must understand this. Recently, Femi Otedola was explaining certain things that happened to him during the time when he started his business. He took a lot of loan from different places. But you see, there was an issue with, I think during Obasanjo time, in terms of maybe dollar, something. He was just explaining that as in, I'm just bringing that in. So, but he was still able to sustain his business while he was owing a lot of debt. Do you understand? So he must maintain a financial health. Your business must be healthy financially. Number two, social sustainability. Please let me know when my time, because there's a lot to, but I'll round up soon. I know I'll be done. Social sustainability. Treating employees and customers and community fairly and building trust-based relationship. Treating your employees, very important. Treating your employees with a good treat is very important. You know, that shows that maybe, for example, you can give your employees some opportunity to add to their educational background. You know, send your employees out to study on certain courses that can help boost your organization. There are some companies that do that a lot. They send their staff to maybe a country to go and learn certain things that can help boost the organization. Say, you have to treat your employees well. You, in terms of maybe their welfare as well. Have maybe vacation time for them, you know, off time for them where they have time to brainstorm about certain things. So you must treat your customer as well, because let me tell you, your customer is your king right now. If you treat your customer anyhow, losing one customer can damage the whole of your business in 2 seconds. Trust me, you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to deal with that, because really, customer is your king. Let me not lie to you. At some point, I in my laundry business, let me give you an example from there. I was, maybe one of my staff was ironing a particular customer clothes, and there was just the iron stain. He didn't get the clothes burned to. There was just an iron, and the customer started around, this shirt is very expensive. I had to call me. I said, brother, we have to refund that customer and buy up that shirt back. But just by making sure I was concerned about the customer's clothes and all of those things, and the customer see reason that, for you to talk about it and all of those things means that you're really concerned about it and as well. And he said, it's fine. There's no problem, that I shouldn't refund, I shouldn't do anything, that's fine. And till today, the customer is still my customer. So you must keep good relationship with your customer. Very, very important. You must keep good relationship with your customers, because once you lose one customer, that can cost your business. Imagine a customer that is buying goods worth billions of naira from your store, or from your shop, or from maybe your office, and you lose such one customer. The other people is only 100,000 things they are buying from you, but one person is buying 1 billion, and you lose such a customer. You know what that will cost in your business. So you must understand the social sustainability, also the environmental sustainability, using resources responsibly, reducing waste, maximizing negative impact on the environment. See, using your resources responsibly. See, in business, you must use your resources responsibly. You must reduce waste. There shouldn't be leakage in your business. No, not where maybe, for example, I remember one time during my 9 to 5, I like using example, during my 9 to 5, my MD, at some points before, we used to get recharge card as staff, maybe 5,000 naira, each staff gets 5,000 naira recharge card during that period, every month. When the man saw that this thing is affecting the business growth and all of that, he had to reduce the amount. He said 2,000 naira to every staff recharge card, they should manage it. But he gave some preferential treatment to some certain people, like, for example, customer care. You don't expect a customer care. You are reducing his credit to 2,000. How does he reach out to the customers and all of this? So you must learn to use your resources very well. For example, maybe you are into logistics and there are cars that goes out every time. You can reduce the number of cars that go down. Tell the driver, you have to do these runnings for 24 hours today, and you must achieve the thing. So all of those things, you must cut it down. You must reduce those things, because really, those are the things that can destroy your business from growing. So key reason to patronize sustainability before expansion: build a solid foundation. I said it earlier, you must build a solid foundation. You must build a solid foundation. Avoid financial and operational risk. I've also said it earlier. That's why I said I will finish this thing before the time runs out. So avoid financial and operational risk. Operational risk in terms of maybe your operational cost is so high and all of that. You notice in the first year, maybe in the first month, you saw that, maybe let me use yearly, because yearly is when most times people check their operational costs and all of those things. So, for example, maybe you check your operational cost in a year, this particular year, you saw that, this thing is so high. The next thing, I know my MD, I'm using my MD as an example because I also did 9 to 5 before I started business. So I remember then, when he noticed that the operational cost for many staff, the plenty staff that he had everywhere was too much, he downsized the whole staff. He had to bring down. Many people had to be thrown out of the company, because why? He would notice that the operational cost was too high. He's paying certain people a certain amount. So you don't just take money and start paying people, okay, yes, I need the marketing. He joined, let me tell you the work I was doing. I was doing a channel manager for different store. Then as well, I was also the head of support. I was doing those two jobs together the same time in that same organization. Some people, some people were doing support and they were doing claims. So to tell you how that's how serious that is, you must maximize. See, for sustainability of your business, you must maximize your income. You must maximize your money, your financial. You must avoid every financial risk. You must avoid it. If not, ensure quality and client satisfaction. Very important for expansion of your business. You must ensure quality and client satisfaction. That's one of the things about my business. I don't sell fake things. There are people that sell fake things to people and they go with it. They go scot-free with it. But I don't. I rather give you the charge for what you are buying for. I say it many times. Many customers will laugh. They say, David, you are too expensive. This thing is too expensive. I say, that's fine. So far, what I'm giving you is quality, and I don't get, even if I have a return of certain things, I sort it out immediately. I don't have to wait for my customer to pay me to sort it. I sort it out immediately and give my. So you must ensure that there are quality and client satisfaction. Your client must be satisfied. There was a day I supplied something, and when the thing got to the customer, the thing didn't work. It's a brand new some. I couldn't have opened it because it's sealed. It didn't work. Immediately, the customer called me that this thing didn't work. I had to call my guys. I said, send dispatch to go and pick up this item. They should bring it back to the store. Now, we are taking it back to the supplier. He needs to change it immediately. And I didn't even, what I now had to do was to send, the dispatch I was sending was taking a new one, another one entirely, to make sure I satisfy my customer first. There's no two ways about it. You must satisfy your customer first. So I sent dispatch with another one, and he should pick up the one that was not working, and they took that one and they brought the other one back. So you must satisfy your customer. You must ensure you supply quality items to your customer. Prevent store out crisis. Store out crisis. When you store a lot of things, like for example, there was a time when one of my partner, someone in the same market with me and all, stall out plenty power banks, and all of a sudden power banks started exploding from all the batteries started. So you must prevent all of those things so that you don't store up plenty things and at the end of the day it's not needed in the business. Gain market and brand advantage. This one is going to take me a lot of time, but I don't want to spend so much time. You understand what it means. Gain market and brand advantage. You must put out your brand there. When I started with EduTech. So I didn't just jump from EduTech to doing laundry. Because laundry is what is branding now. I want to go and do it. No, you must build a brand first. They must know you for something. When you talk about David as a person, everybody knows he's a gadget person, sells gadgets. So it's a brand. You must build your brand. You must let people know who you are. Not that you will post. Some people do funny things. You post perfume today. Tomorrow you post hair. Tomorrow you post clothes. We are confused. We don't know what you are doing. So that's not the way to expand your business. That's not the way to grow your business. You must be known for something. People must know you for a particular brand that you sell. So when people want to talk about you, they should be able to say, this person, this is what this person does. This is what the person sells. I know I've used so much time. Sorry, I'm almost rounding up. So I'm just going to read through all of this. So I hope you understand what that brand is, the brand advantage. You must build a brand first. Must build a brand first. When they know you for this brand, then you can expand and grow your business. How to achieve sustainable growth? Develop a clear and realistic growth strategy. You must develop a clear and realistic growth strategy. Invest in infrastructure and system. You must invest in infrastructure and system. Focus on product market fit. Focus on product market fit. See, build and train competent staff. I said that earlier. You must send your staff, train them. Not that you say, this person, you're not performing well. Next thing you are thinking of, no, train them. Take them through classes. I remember doing my 9 to 5. I'm still referring to my 9 to 5. You'll be wondering why I'm referring to it, because that was where I started from. See, during my 9 to 5, my MD called a coach that trains people on, staff quality, all of those things and all. And, all of those things, it helped. You must train your staff well. Time up. Thank God. I'm done. Balance and growth risk. Thank you so much. This note will be shared to the conveyor and you can go through it. I'll just have to go to the conclusion part. Decision making, let me just read this. Decision making in scaling or sustaining a business, important to be strategic in making decisions. Important to be strategic in making decisions. Strategic in decision making entails aligning the organization efforts and with all goals. So in conclusion, scaling is about achieving greater outputs with proportional increase in input. Focusing on efficiency and sustainability through process optimization and automation, while growth is the expansion of a business size, often involving increasing costs for resources, personnel, and infrastructure. You should scale when demand increases. You should scale when demand increases, but your costs should not. So you understand this? You should scale when demand increases, but your costs should not, as is efficient in the long time, profitable and efficiency. You should consolidate or sustain when a company has reached a maturity and is no longer in a rapid growth phase. Focusing on internal strength, optimizing existing resources, and ensuring long-term durability rather than further expansion. So I'm not going to read these parts. I'm going to send the notes so you could go through some of all those things. Thank you so much. Sorry for taking much time. It's just a lot that needs to be shared. Thank you so much. Any question? Okay, my slide already written there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. David. Thank you so much. Please let's appreciate Mr. David in the chat box. Thank you so much, Sha, for all that you have shared. I've learned a lot. I have been writing, I've been trying to read through the slide, and I've been writing everything that you've been saying. Please let's drop in the chat box some of the things that we learned from Mr. David's wonderful, wonderful session. I remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to send to our official Teams Voice email, so that we would have a time to respond specially to your questions. Thank you so much, Mr. David, once again. I learned a whole lot. I learned to build my brand and to scale up when my business is ready. When my business is ready, there have to be some certain structures in place before I know I want to scale up and all of that. Thank you so much, sir. Moving on in our agenda for the day, I'd like for everyone to join me. Oh, Sister Ariola says it was a good and inspiring teaching. It really was. It genuinely was. Thank you so much, sir. Moving on, please join me as we welcome. This is the time for virtual applause, virtual confetti, all the virtual things, you know how it goes. Join me as we welcome our wonderful convener, P. Wealth. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Pastor Wealth. We're excited.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I don't think the applaud is enough. I will end this meeting now.
Please, now let's applaud our convener. This will not be here without our convener. Let's appreciate.
Oh, am I sweating? Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone. It's such a huge time it has been. I want to say thank you, first of all, to my very good friend, Mr. David Ikioya. Let me tell you something interesting about him, that as he spoke, I remembered. Interestingly, incidentally, I realized that I knew him since he was a teenager. And interestingly, also, I discovered that, well, it's not a discovery. I also realized as he was talking that there was something he would do then, and that is very consistent with some of the things he has shared, and they're quite inspiring. There's something he would do then. What he would do then is, when he was in school, all through his university, then, I don't know if he remembers, but as he was talking, I just said, wow. See, success has a pattern, and the child that his head will be straight in the future, you will know from the way he's behaving right now. So every month then, what Mr. David would do, he would send a happy new month message. For the 4 years he was in our institution, you can be sure that you were going to get a happy new month. Now, you would have thought maybe he's sending a happy new month so that he can prep you for billing. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you get some happy new month right now, you should know what will follow. They're just preparing you for the day of withdrawal. please, urgent 2K. But it's okay. If you can help, why not? And this is a man of character, a man of who I've seen grown from that young, amazing, passionate, God-loving teenager into a very well-established and inspiring young man. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for speaking from your heart and from your experience. We're grateful. I want to say very big thank you to Sharon also and Jonathan. You know, I call them the MBGs. You know, yeah. Sorry for the background noise. My people they are working from the other departments. So in case you are hearing some fries, don't worry. I'm not eating this late. They are just cooking something. So pretend as though you didn't hear that. They will reduce the volume. So I want to thank Sharon and Jonathan for bringing. You know, it was nice hearing them. They brought the what I would call the Sharon and the Jonathan vibe into the perspective tonight. And that just shows the amazing and uniqueness of everyone. Again, thank you so much for speaking from your heart and your experience. So it's been such a beautiful time. And all of these, interestingly, starting with Mr. David, like I said, back to Sharon and back to Jonathan, just prove that the things I have been about for these many years, they are working and they produce results. And I have come to realize, I've known all this while, I've been doing it all this while, but it became quite clearer and more definitive in approach and why we're doing what we're doing now. I would say that I support teenagers and prepare them to navigate the complexity of adulting while I work with parents and their caregivers to do a better job at parenting or working with teenagers. It is one of the things that I believe is my life's core. While I do a lot of other things, this is the core of my existence, and I'll do it till rapture. And I'm grateful to God for the guidance and inspiration. Now, ideally, guys, these things are not what you likely get for free. If you agree with me that these are things that you should have been paying for or you could have paid for, if you were asked to pay, you will pay. Can I get your response in the comment section? Can you confirm that to be true, or it's just a hype? Do you agree that these are value that is worth several hundreds? It's only, am I replying myself? It's only Team's voice that is replying. Who else thinks so? If you don't think so, I think I'll remove you. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Carlton. All right. So I said all of that to say that it is our way of influencing and impacting the world with the investment of our personalities, the way we have been brought up. And I think we're going to do something after the end of the Not Young for Wealth this particular season. I'm going to occasionally plan, and I'll start with answering all your questions. So if you have questions, send them in. So we're going to have a day. If you didn't register properly, you should. If you're not following our handle, you should. I'm going to have days, not necessarily maybe day 1, day 2. I'll create time to have what I'll call question and answer with P Wealth. So what I would do is we'll start the first session of question and answer with P Wealth with some of the questions you've asked today, and we would. I'll get some of the speakers to just join me. It could be a live Instagram session. It could be a Zoom meeting like this too. But in any case, I think we should have moments where we have be related to the discussion currently. As David was speaking. In the future, maybe someone is watching this broadcast, and in your mind, you're asking yourself, really, do I really need this? Why are they talking about some of these things? It's talking about scaling and tax issues going to come up in 2026. And you are wondering, I'm not even finished school. I'll tell you why it's important. Number one is that you are not too young for wealth. That is why you came for the program. Do you understand? That is why you came for the program. And if you observe those who have been speaking, we didn't call them founder because we want to give them nice titles. Brother David has real business. He has real business, not business in the air. At least I'm aware. And you don't, number two reason is you don't prepare for, you prepare for war in the time of peace. So you don't wait for a particular time and said, okay, I am now ready for my future. You are never ready for your future. Every day you live, you are one day inside your future. And so you don't start preparing for adulthood when you become an adult. I will always like to tell teenagers, I said, the teenager you are is the adult you will become. So this is us preparing you ahead for a day that is inevitable to come. So I don't know if that is clear with you. So in case you are wondering, then number three reason why we're putting all of this together, and some of the things you are hearing are not too big for you to hear or understand, is because just a minute. These are the things they don't teach you in school. Upscaling and all of that, they don't teach you in school. These are not the things they teach you in school. And so you may never learn them until maybe you finish, you're not doing your master's or you're doing an executive course somewhere. But then it might be too late for some, and you shouldn't have to wait till that time before you get it started. And that's why another very interesting thing that most of you should do, no, can you imagine? I'm getting a notification on this system that is saying it sounds like you might have switched to a different language. I'm still speaking English. What's wrong with this app? You know, so that's the third reason. These are not things they teach you in school, and it's better you learn them now because it is what it is. You are live. This is not a rehearsal. You are on stage, and this will give you an advantage. And the earlier you know these things and see the possibilities, you can start now. You are not too young for wealth. So that said, I thought to tell you something additionally, briefly this evening. Let me share something with you. We told you yesterday about our program that, just a minute. Something yesterday about our financial intelligence course. These are recordings from our Not Too Young for Wealth last year. You will likely be seeing them on the screen. Please confirm that you are seeing them on the screen. Now, I just want to run you through the curriculum of what we have there. Can you see my screen? There's a way this thing works. Just a moment. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm supposed to be seeing it. It's just what's happening. Okay, just a moment. Something, yep. Okay, so you see here why this course, now let me leave all the big English. When you go there, the link yesterday we told you is thingsvoice.org/financial education. I just want to run you through some of the courses we have there. And why that? See, let me tell you, one of the greatest investments you can make is in yourself. One of the greatest investments you can make is in yourself. And if you think knowledge is expensive, try ignorance. Ignorance is costlier. And there are things that you don't have to learn by your own experience. You can learn from experienced people. And so when we put this course together, these are some of the things it covers, right? You have what you call financial intelligence test, poverty and wealth, what is it? Entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship, roadmap to financial freedom. Where do you find money? Design thinking and business ideation. 10 facts about wealth creation, industry mapping and finding your niche, channels of wealth creation, currencies that are beyond fiat, income types and streams, competitors analysis, client quadrant, strategic partnership and friendship, legal and financial management. Now, if you put all of this together, this course is worth 150,000 naira. But of course, as a social enterprise, what we have done is to subsidize with a 16,500 one payment, you get all of the courses. And the interesting thing about when you get all of the courses is it comes with slides. So let me take you to where we have them. Now, if you go to our resource center, of course, there are some free courses there. For instance, you have this Things Voice Academy career roadmap worksheet is free. And we have this book we produced last year, Raising Today's Teens with Love and Guidance. Then you have Continuous Learning. This one is a video, is also free. But these 3 courses, Business Strategy and Marketing Focus. Then you have Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Then Wealth Creation and Financial Literacy. Let me tell you, they will set you up on fire. They will give clarity to your founding. Remember, what we said this year is moving from bills to making boss moves and helping you navigate the complexity of adulting while founding on your own path. We believe strongly that the world that we have currently needs more entrepreneurs and founders than those who are looking for a job, because there's not enough job, but there are more than enough opportunities out there to create solutions and solve problems that can become business that can change your life. And these 3 courses are guaranteed to deliver you a blueprint that can make that happen. So it's something you can get for yourself, it's something you can sponsor for others. And we're making all of this instead of 50 with 1,500 limited offer, you can get them. Now, even if you were there last year, believe me, you need to go over them. And last year, remember, if you were there, we didn't give you the slides. So when you get these courses right now, you get the video, you get the slide, and I can guarantee you, you will come back with testimony. Very, very, very sure. I can beat my chest on that. All right. So with that, I will go into a few thoughts I have today, and we can call it a beautiful evening. Now, it's going to get a bit preachy, and it's just what it is. It's the direction I have that we're sharing with you tonight. So basically, I want to talk about your state and your estate. If you're not a Christian, perhaps you're watching this video, I invite you to be one, because Christians who understand their rights, who know, excuse me, what has been made available to them, who knows what is possible because of the Abrahamic covenant, they do better in life. They actually do better in life. They do. And so I was speaking from the angle of what I call your state and your estate. Now, your state will mean where are you currently and who you are by God's definition. Then your estate, what belongs to you because you are a Christian. So I'm going to read a lot of scriptures. First, speaking of your estate, my first point under your estate and your state is, I'll read from point 1, talking about your state versus your estate. That would mean who you are, where you are, then what you have. 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9 says, "For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that you through his poverty might become rich." That is not a promise. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ is a vital reality because he died. He was rich. And one of the reasons he was rich, he became poor, is so that you can inherit riches. So when we look at where are you currently, who are you currently, you are the rich by virtue of what Christ did. And that should not be difficult to believe or accept if you can accept that by one man's offense, death reigned by all, much more they will retrieve abundance of grace, and of the gifts of righteousness shall reign in life. If you would believe that that is true, you shouldn't have any reason to doubt that currently you are rich by virtue of his word, his poverty. So he didn't just die to bring you salvation. He didn't just die to take you from darkness into light. He died to make you rich. So by a vital experience of the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, you are the rich. Ephesians chapter 3 verse 8 says, although I am less than the least of all the Lord's people, his grace was given me to preach to the Gentiles the boundless riches of Christ. Other translation will say unsearchable riches on Christ. And believe me, it is not talking about spiritual riches. It's talking about wealth untold, like having the house of your dream, like living the life of your dream. And from what you can see, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody preaches anything otherwise outside of this, is religion. It's not Christianity. So when we say, where are you currently? You are rich. When we say, what is your estate currently? You are in a place of wealth by virtue of being a Christian. Now, of course, you may say, but I'm not experiencing it well. That's why we're talking about it, because the first thing is you need to understand, you need to acknowledge, you need to act and believe that you are rich, because you are. 3 John chapter 1 verse 2 says, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. He said, I wish above all things that you prosper. Now, if you thought the prosperity was spiritual one, he now told you to be in health, then he now talk about the soul prosperity. So God wants you to prosper financially. He wants you to have abundance. He wants you to be in a place of more than enough. Plus that, he wants you to be in good health, even as your soul prospereth. Now, even as your soul prospereth seems to suggest that the prosperity of your health, of your finances, is connected to the prosperity of your soul. And the reason why we are sharing this is we must give you a balanced knowledge. As beautiful as all the other things that have been shared are, you can't afford to lose sight of this very fact that the prosperity of your soul has a lot to do with what you experience financially and what you experience in your health, in your relationship, and every other aspect of your life, right? I would recommend very strongly that you read today's article of Rhapsody of Realities. Because of time, I'm not going to go into it. But I wish I could have had time to read it to you. But you read it, there are some very important things that the man of God, Pastor Chris, shared about the soul and the spirit and all of that. Now, I think that was over the weekend or something. But I would like to continue. Galatians 3:29 says, if you belong to Christ, then are you Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. According to the Bible, the only man that had the certificate of occupancy of the world is Abraham. The world was given to him, and everyone inside was given to him along with the world. And according to the Bible, in Galatians chapter 3 verse 29, everyone who belongs to Christ, you are Abraham's seed, and therefore everything belongs to you. And if you're going to be a founder, you must go with this understanding. Of course, if you're not a Christian, your journey has to begin with making Jesus Christ the Lord of your life, because this is not doesn't apply to you. It's for a selected few. It's for those who have accepted Jesus Christ as the Lord of their life. And why this is important is, as a founder or somebody who is trying to pioneer something, you must understand that you have an undue advantage. You are not starting from a zero level. You are starting from a place where all things belong to you. You are starting from a place where your prosperity is already settled. All you need to do is to work, acknowledge, accept, confess. I used an acronym last year. I call it ABC. So converting this fact, this reality in Christ into your vital reality, what you experience, you need A, B, C, D. So A will mean you accept that these things are true. B will mean you believe them. So A will mean acknowledgement and acceptance. B will mean you believe them. C will mean you confess them. Then D will mean you decide to take action. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18 to 22. I'll read from the NIV. It said, do not deceive yourself. If any of you think you are wise by the standards of this age, you should become fools so that you may become wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's sight. As it is written, it catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows that the thoughts of the wise are futile. So then, no more boasting about human leaders. All things are yours. That's the point I'm trying to bring out in this scripture. So you can't be saying, oh, Forex, you can't build your life on the standard of this world. He said, because the standard of this world is foolishness. So if we're talking about founding, you must understand you work by a different set of rules. Where others are failing, you are going to succeed. And you must understand that all things are yours. He says, so then, no more boasting about human leaders. All things are yours. Verse 22. Whether Paul or Apollos, Cephas or the world or life or death or the present or the future, all are yours. Then 2 Corinthians 4:7 says, but we have this treasure. Oh, glory to God. In earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. He said we have treasure. He didn't say in heavenly vessels. He said we have the treasure in earthen vessels, so that the excellency may be of God and not of us. Point 2, when you talk about your state and your estate, you have been set free, but you have the responsibility to make yourself free, set yourself free. I'll take that again. You have been set free, but you have the responsibility to make yourself free. And usually when people quote John 8:32, they'll say, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And set you free. No, you can be set free and you do not walk in your liberty. Like many are not walking in their liberty of the fact that he became poor so that they are rich. And so they are still thinking like the poor. They are still behaving like the poor. They are still processing like the poor. They are struggling like everybody's struggling. There was a time they talk about the emancipation of the slave trade. That means the cancellation of it. There was a document at the time that slave trade was supposed to end that was made available, but a lot of people were still in slavery because they didn't know. The document stated that people are free, but until people got to see the document that they have been set free, though they've been set free, they were not made free. Do you understand? They needed to make themselves free with the knowledge of the documents. And that is why we must give a balance document, because we can go with esoteric and nice systems and processes and all the beautiful things we have shared, but you must understand that you have to make yourself free. How do you make yourself free? You must live in the consciousness of the liberty you have. You are free to become anything. You are free to achieve anything. Anything is possible with you. It may be impossible for those who don't know Christ, but those who are in Christ, anything is possible. Point number 3, under your state and your estate, lack of knowledge can be a problem. So as beautiful as all of these things are, a lack of knowledge will mean 2 things. Number 1, either you acquire knowledge and you are not putting it to work. Number 2, you find knowledge too expensive, and so you don't pay for it. Like we just introduced a course to you right now. The Bible says, buy the truth and sell it not. And interestingly, something that you may not have given it a serious thought, but it's true. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Interestingly, it didn't say sinners. It didn't say unbelievers. It said my people. Interesting. My people, they don't know that they are wealthy. They don't know that true knowledge shall be delivered. Delivered from what? Not from the devil. Delivered in their inheritance. True knowledge. Proverbs 11:9 says, any hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Not delivered from the devil. It's true accurate knowledge. You are delivered into the reality of what you have. Through accurate knowledge, you are delivered into some of these things that sound esoteric or theoretical. That is why you have to go to school. That is why you have to purchase courses like this. That's why you have to subscribe to a program and get required knowledge. The Bible also let us know that by knowledge, a house is built. And by understanding, the chambers are filled with plenty. And ladies and gentlemen, my last point for tonight are under what I will call financial literacy. So I spoke about, the subject is about your state and your estate, maximizing your state and your estate, understanding your state and your estate, enjoying your state and your estate, making reality your state and your estate. One of the key things is, the first thing I told you was what? I told you your state. I told you what your estate are, what you have in Christ. Then I told you how that you have been set free to be anything. But you have to make yourself free. And how do you do that? I said it's through accurate knowledge. It's through the acquisition of the appropriate and accurate knowledge. But more importantly, the application of knowledge. And Jane said something yesterday very important. That they lie to us that knowledge is power. It is a half-truth. Knowledge applied is power. Accurate knowledge acquired and applied, that is what is power. Then final point as I wrap up tonight, because I want us to keep it within a 2-hour frame today, is to enjoy and maximize your state and your estate, you need financial literacy. Because I will say, it is not enough that you know your rights in Christ. It is not enough that you have knowledge about what belongs to you. It is not enough that you confess, because when you confess, remember the D. I said the D is decide to take action. One is acknowledgement and acceptance. B is believing what you have acknowledged and accepted to be true, based on what I've told you this night. And every other thing you know to be true as to where you are, your state and your estate. Then C is you begin to say it. After you say them, you need to take action. And one of the action you must take, as far as your wealth is concerned, as far as your finances is concerned, is financial literacy. And what does financial literacy mean? It means 3 things in conclusion. Number 1 is you have to have financial intelligence. Number 2, you have to have a financial plan. How much do I want to earn? Do I want to be earning by age XYZ? Set such plan. And please, if it's less than $1 billion, you are living in yesterday, especially if you're participating from Nigeria. Your limit should be, I want to be earning $1 million at so there has to be a plan. Set it. The reason why people have issues financially is because they don't have a financial plan. They only have plans to pay their bills and survive. So once your plan is to pay your bills and survive, you are going to be living below what is possible. And we didn't bring you here to pay bills. We bring you here to make boss moves. And one of the way you make boss moves is to what? Is to be financially intelligent. You can check the definition of that. I'll give you that homework to go and check the meaning of financial intelligence. But I'm saying to enjoy all of these beautiful things that are real to you in Christ, especially as a Christian, you need financial literacy. And financial literacy would simply mean, financial literacy is equals to number 1, financial intelligence. Number 2, financial plan. Number 3, financial discipline. If all that you know, all that you have acknowledged and accepted, all that you have believed to be true about your state and your estate, and you begin to confess them and taking a decision to take action, in taking that decision to take action, you must have financial literacy. And I'm deliberately repeating myself. And that would include financial intelligence, financial plan, financial discipline. And to be honest, when you set this in motion, I can guarantee you, the sky is not just your starting point. It is where you begin to draw the map and say, where do we go from here? And so that's why I don't agree with the term we are hustling, or I'm going to make it, or I'm on my way to the top. No, you are already seated with Christ in the heavenly places. The missing link is what I've just shared with you. And with this few point of mine, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to me and hand over to the moderator as we draw the curtain for tonight. If you have questions, please send them in teensvoiceacademy@gmail.com, or you can follow us on King's Chat, Instagram, and send us your questions there. And I already told you, once you are on our mailing list, we are going to be sharing with you the dates we're going to have what I'll call Q&A with people. And in answering those questions, they could be related to the things you have heard this first day or the other 2 days to come, or other things about young people generally. I will be answering such questions, and I'll give opportunity to some of my friends to join in those live sessions. And what it will just be about, no topics, it's just question and answers. So we don't want this meeting to drag so long. So you are free to ask your question, send them to us, and we'll be able to answer them. Victoria, over to you. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Wells. Please let us appreciate Pastor in the comments. Thank you so much, Pastor. He has shared a lot with us today. And what I would just use to summarize everything he has said is, you can have a television, but if you don't know how to put it on, then that TV is very useless to you. So you can have all these wonderful things, all these things that we have in Christ, as Pastor has said, but if you don't have financial intelligence, and if you don't make that decision to put it to work and to take action, then you will still be stuck at the bills. You will not get to the boss moves. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Sir. Thank you so much to our wonderful panelists that we had today, Ms. Sharon and Mr. Jonathan. Thank you so much to our wonderful keynote speaker, Mr. David. I learned a whole lot today. And I'm very excited for tomorrow's session. And tomorrow, my lovely co-host will be back to moderate the session. Looking forward to that. Please, let's also remember to share the link with other people. Let's have more people connected tomorrow, because day 1 was wonderful. Day 2 has been amazing. We're going to have an amazing time tomorrow. So please share the link. Sister Ariella says it was really enlightening. It really was. And I'm sure you want other people to hear these things that you have heard as well. So like I said earlier, be that good friend, be that support system in somebody's life, and encourage other people to join, to connect, and to participate. And remember to please send in your questions to our email, teensvoiceacademy@gmail.com. Like Pastor has said, we would have special times where he and some of our speakers and panelists will be answering your questions. So please do well to send in your questions, as they would be responded to shortly. So we have come to the close of today's session. I'm very happy. At least I would sleep this night knowing that my boss moves have started. I will begin my boss moves. So thank you again, everyone, for connecting to today's session. See you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Please don't be late. Tell others about it. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Bye.